And how about your stop cock? Have you checked that?
Tommy Boyds and Allison Ferns on BBC Southern Counties Radio.
Did you hear Bob getting a rollicking from a listener?
Dear.
What was the guy's name?
Glyn or something,
Glyn.
isn't it? Yeah.
Good on Glyn. He gave
Near the
Bob a
mark.
piece. Fantastic.
I thought people liked Bob.
A certain type of person likes Bob.
Obviously, Glyn is not a fan.
I thought Glyn was great. I don't know if you can say dickhead before 10 o'clock.
I'm not sure you can, no. I don't think it's something we want to encourage, really, that kind of language. Bob sounded rattled, though, didn't he?
He did. He couldn't cope with it, could he?
No.
The idea that his kind of, like sort of fuzzy radio can get somebody's back up. And what was he doing anyway? Setting a quiz about executions.
I know, I couldn't believe that.
He thinks this sort of cosy, cuddly world he lives in, where this sort of kind of like casual racism, sexism, ageism and everything is acceptable because, well, he's cuddly Bob.
I wouldn't cuddle him.
No.
No, thanks.
No.
No.
Watching Richard and Judy, this is Diane Pearce, who's normally an enemy,
She is.
slightly. No offence, Diane.
Isn't she on a yellow card?
She is on a yellow card, yes.
I thought so.
But she's not suspended.
No.
Watching
Yet.
Richard and... Exactly. Watching Richard and Judy this week, they reported on a film with Kevin Bacon as a paedophile in a story that is sympathetic towards his character. We all know these people don't reform. Diane, here she goes. And Richard said himself that he was disgusted with the message of redemption for such an abuser. Please warn people about this movie. Well, Diane, now you've raised it, probably an awful lot of people will be interested in watching an intelligent film that's made about a complex and harrowing subject. Because good movies can provide us with intelligent explorations of some of life's most difficult questions, and that's what I dare say this film does. Poor old Richard was probably just covering himself in case anybody, like you, Diane, wanted to read something into what he was saying. You haven't seen the movie, I don't suppose, Diane, and I'm not going to warn anybody about anything that is a perfectly legitimate item that's on sale. Am I?
It's the same old thing again, though, isn't it? People putting something down before they've even seen it. Like
Yeah.
we had the whole thing over the Jerry Springer, the musical. Everyone up in arms how disgusting it is.
Yeah.
Yet they hadn't watched it. Watch the film, then make up your mind.
Or don't watch the film. But if you don't... It's a difficult one, that, isn't it? I mean, I won't be going to watch it because it's not the kind of film I go to see. I go to see films to be uplifted. It's
Yeah,
like this new
feel-good
thing that's out,
films.
Kinsey, about the guy who, with Liam Neeson.
Yeah,
who,
no, I want to see that.
You do?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Just interested from what I've read about Kinsey.
Yeah.
Interested to see how they portray it on film.
Yeah. Right, this is DG, I presume, no, this is Graham Dillard. So is Tommy Boyd saying paedophiles can reform or that films can be intelligent? The latter I agree with. The former, not a chance. I'm not quite sure what DG's thrust is there. But I think there are a great many people, men mostly, on this planet who are horrified by their own particular sexual quirks and who behave in a most noble manner by doing nothing about them. Nothing at all. Who are shocked by the things that they find themselves driven by sexually. I was listening to we were talking about films earlier, you and me, Allison, and
Yeah.
this film Kinsey is about. And he's the guy who did all that research into sexuality
Yes.
in America some decades ago.
Yeah. He came up with the whole idea of the sliding scale of sexuality, didn't he?
And it turned out, and it's touched on in the film, that he himself was driven into this research because he was astonished by his own sexuality.
Yeah.
Which he didn't choose, chose to do nothing about, but wanted to understand, for God's sake, why this for me?
Yeah.
You know? He got into it through his work on gall wasps.
Did he?
Now, there's such a thing as a gall wasp.
No.
Did you? Who's on line 4? Hello?
Yeah, good evening. Will you start doing something entertaining, informing us, or whatever it might be, but stop bloody talking away a load of crap and dribble?
Well, what should we talk about then?
Anything you like that's interesting, or perhaps that's beyond you.
Well,
If that is the case, then why don't you clear off home and get someone in who can run a proper programme?
Well, because proper radio's rubbish. He's gone.
What's he wants to talk about?
Oh, well, he didn't like the idea of talking about interesting things in an interesting way, like normal people do, because it's what normal people talk about. But I think a lot of people are only comfortable with interviews,
Yeah.
items, a running order, guests, somebody in our Crawley studio, a counsellor.
Maybe we could
Call
just
back,
take
Fred.
a
Would you
review.
like us to interview a counsellor?
Yeah, would that make it better radio for you?
I can do that. Would you like to talk about the bypass? I wish that bloke would ring back.
Oh, you might have. Is this him?
I don't know.
Hello, is this you?
No, it's somebody who wants you off the bloody thing, line. You talk the most utter bilge that a little child wouldn't talk.
Oh dear. What would you like us to talk about?
Well, you can't even speak the King's English or Queen's English, so I'm afraid nobody.
Fantastic.
There was a good mood
I have
tonight.
to say this. I got an email from somebody last week. I didn't read it out. It said, why is it that the people who dislike what you stand for are all elderly? And I'm afraid, the reason I didn't read it out was because that's ageist, and I'm not ageist. But my point is, it does seem to be true.
Hello.
Hello there. Hello.
Hi. It's Southern Counties Radio. I'm listening. This is not Southern Counties Radio. I'm listening to it. I've just turned it on.
Yes.
And I don't know if you've got any influence, but it was very interesting. The last week, Mike Powell had the program, and there were interesting people on, like the doctor last night, and there's somebody else on another evening. It was, instead of Paul Miller, which is a very childish program with his raspberries, it's so boring. And I've just turned it on now, and there seems to be a very boring man on as well.
He's awful, isn't he?
What is his name?
His name's Tommy. We're trying to get rid of him, but we need people like you.
He's pretty awful to let you know what we think.
Well, I'm really glad. That's kind of you.
What is your name?
Sorry, my name?
Yeah, are you the producer?
Oh, yes, I don't want to give my name out.
Are you a producer?
Oh, I'd rather not say.
Who is it? Neil Pringle? Is he the manager now?
He's running the place, yes.
He's in charge.
But I wouldn't bother him.
Should I write to him?
I wouldn't bother.
Oh, Michael Grade, is it?
Nothing seems to get done.
No, I mean, it's absolutely boring.
That's terrible, isn't it?
Paul Miller.
And the thing is, he keeps wanting idiots put through who don't understand the programme, who don't pay attention to the programme.
I know.
They don't pay attention to his programme. They don't understand. He explains how his programme works, and they don't understand. They're idiots. Idiots.
Absolutely.
You see, they don't realise that there isn't a switchboard.
Keep Mike Powell on, would you?
And that you go straight to air when you call.
Okay.
Like you are.
Thank you. Good night.
He still hasn't got it. How can you cope? I can't cope. I cannot cope. 3 minutes ago, I explained that in total detail, that if you call, you go direct to air. It's perfectly clear that all the calls we've taken have gone direct to air.
Yeah, but he just didn't get it.
I know there's a man on, he's trying to explain that, I don't know what the accent was. Lancastrian, wasn't he?
I'm not sure.
It's difficult. Oh, look, everywhere's gone mad.
They're all going now.
Oh, hello?
Hello.
Hello.
I don't want to be ageist, but I'm 85 and I find you highly amusing.
Oh, well, that's
fantastic.
good to hear.
What's your name, mate?
Dorothy.
Nice one, Dottie.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
That bucks the trend. I hope all the moaning minis are listening.
Hello, who's there?
Oh, I loathe Mike Powell. Hate him.
Who's Mike Powell?
Well, that silly man who used to do the weather.
That's all the phone calls for the moment. So let's go to the emails. And Gabriel Rutherford has emailed. Star Trek might be brought back by the fans of TrekUnited.com, who joined together in rallies all over the world and raised $3.1 million for a 5th season. Wonder what Tommy Boyd thought about that. We will be victorious.
They raised money.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. And it may well come back.
They took out a full-page advert, didn't they, as well? And I think it was the New York Times saying that they wanted another series.
I agree with a lot of political correctness, but I think I'm probably the least politically correct person in broadcasting. Which is odd, isn't it?
It is strange.
I do believe in political correctness.
There's a difference, though, between political correctness and people conforming. There's a lot of people that conform to things just for the sake of it, just because they think they should.
So I'll give you an example. I looked up Albion in the dictionary today.
Yeah.
To find out what Albion means. You know what Albion means?
Nope.
Nor do I, because it wasn't in the dictionary. But it would have been between albatross and albino.
Yeah.
So I said to my wife, what do we call albinos now? And she said, I think they're still albinos.
I think they are.
And I said, well, that's interesting, because there are a number of words connected with physical conditions which are no longer used. We now say, cerebral palsy instead of another word, which was offensive. We now talk about Down syndrome as opposed to another term, which was offensive. We don't call people who are clinically small anything to do with Snow White. We say, person of restricted growth or something such. Okay, and that's fine, because those words used to hurt those people, and that's why we don't do them. And so that's right.
So that's right political correctness?
Yes.
If it's
That's
avoiding...
right, of course it is. Of course it is.
offending or hurting someone,
Yeah.
But there's a lot of it...
if I called you a bit of totty, you wouldn't like that, would you? That's politically incorrect.
But again, it wouldn't really bother me that much.
Would it not?
No, it wouldn't.
No.
No? No.
Are you a bit of totty?
Well, no. But it
You
wouldn't...
are a bit. Don't mind me saying so.
You're offending me now.
That's a difficult thing, you see.
Totty really wouldn't offend me, no. Because totty implies that you're quite nice looking.
How
if
about
you
a
called
bird?
me an old boiler, then I
that's
might
just rude.
take issue with you.
Well, that's just rude. That's not... That.
Yeah, totty wouldn't annoy me. But I think where it gets
That's physiologically
out of hand
incorrect.
is where people won't say that somebody's bald. They'll say something like they're follically challenged.
Nobody does that. I see nobody does that. That's all invented by the Sun, the Daily Mail. Nobody's ever said follically challenged.
Well, they have.
No, they haven't. Not
How do you know they haven't? How do you know that? Do you know everybody in the whole entire world, and you know for a fact that no one's ever said it?
Yes, in all seriousness, no one's ever said it seriously. Let's go to line 4. Hello, line 4.
Hello?
Hello?
I've just got a spell check in front of me, and Albion is a poetic term for Britain or England.
Right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, can you just say something for me?
Yes.
Can you say exterminate?
Exterminate.
I quite like more cabbies to phone the show, because I like arguing with cabbies. Because if you were to pick a section of society that really didn't know what they were talking about, most of them don't even know the best way to Lewis.
They'll be phoning the show now after that comment.
It's perfectly true. As you get older, you love to spot people doing things wrong. You notice cyclists going through red lights. You notice people parked in front of fire hydrants. Well, no, because you don't have fire hydrants in this country, but you know what I mean. It's fun, isn't it?
It is fun.
Teasing people who are being a little bit unpleasant.
Yeah.
Since somebody's a little bit unpleasant, I think, and we do get quite a few callers who are very rude.
Very rude.
And they think that I'm rude back. I'm never anywhere near as rude as the people who are rude. No, it gives you a kind of license to tease a bit, but only within the bounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another thing, I've heard people trying to have a conversation with you both, and you just cut them short. Even when they are right, you can't handle it and cut them short. Well, that's just lying. Whoever this is, I'm going to phone.
Never cut anyone off. They tend to put the phone down on us.
I'm going to phone this text messenger up, because that is a lie. When have you ever seen me cut anybody off? Hand on heart. Hand on heart.
No, you haven't.
Hand on heart. Have I ever cut anybody off ever?
No.
No. Right. And cut people short? We always say to them, well, go on. No, I'm not going to say anything else.
Normally they put the phone down.
Yes, I've said my piece. I just wanted to say that. I'm going to phone this guy. I'm going to phone this bloke who talked rubbish. Where are we? Right. 077. Now, if we were another radio programme, we'd go, oh, talk amongst yourselves.
We won't do that.
Do a list of radio things that you should never say. Because indeed, as you know, is banned.
So is it ringing? Are you ringing this guy? Do we know it's a guy or is it a girl? Have they put their name there?
Mostly men text radio stations, I think. Okay, and then...
They're going to be a bit shocked getting a call from you, aren't they?
Oh.
The number you have dialed has not been recognised.
Oh.
Please check and try again.
Right. Well, in that case, I will do this. I'm going to phone this guy, but right. Let's see whether we can get this person who says that we keep cutting people off.
Here we
good.
go.
We're through.
Go on, pick up the phone.
He or she is chickening out. I don't want them to get worried. I just thought I'd like to have a conversation with somebody who said that we keep cutting people. What on earth makes... How can you... I suppose if you want to believe that a radio host is horrible, then you're going to kid yourself that he or she just cuts people off, which we never do. No, he or she's not going to answer. which is just, straightforward cowardly custard, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, have you ever had an electric shock?
No.
Have you not?
No, touch wood, no, I haven't.
No, you'd have to touch the wire.
Yes, have you?
Yes, I've had 3.
Oh.
And you make the same noise every time you get an electric shock. I'll just do it. You go like this. I'm reaching out and I'm touching the wire. Now,
Ooh.
You go like that. You always go, And it's not so much the pain, it's the notion that, you're doing something that is potentially lethal.
Yeah.
It is very odd.
You need to take more care.
And then you feel woozy for about 2 days.
2 days?
Yeah.
Well, how strong are these electric shocks you're getting?
240 volts, the normal domestic voltage in the house.
2 days? You feel wheezy?
You don't feel woozy straight away. You feel woozy about half to 3/4 of an hour later. You go, ooh. I don't know if it's fear or shock or whether it's... Because our bodies run on electricity, Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Did you not know that?
Our bodies are run on electricity?
Yes.
Elaborate.
Okay. Think of something. Now think of something else.
Think of something.
Yeah, think of something.
Anything?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right, I'm thinking of something.
Okay. Now say it. Whatever it was you thought of.
Tree.
Tree. Okay. The whole business of coming up with that image of a tree was a result of electrical activity in
my brain,
your brain. Right. And then, right, the decision to articulate the word tree was a result of electrical activity. And how do you think your nervous system told your mouth and your vocal cords to vibrate in the necessary way for the word tree to come out? How did it pass that information through the muscles?
Electricity.
Electricity. You can join in if you want to, if you're phoning the programme. Who's this?
Well, I'm getting a lot of interference on this radio show. Is it from what you're doing?
Is there something wrong with your radio?
No, that was okay, but when you started talking about the shocks and things, it started I don't know what you're doing there, but it started interfering with the radio.
Really?
Has anybody else complained about it?
Are you complaining?
Well, no, I'm just saying, has
You're pointing
anybody
it
else
out.
complaining about it?
No, people don't. They think it's just their radios.
No, well, it's not mine.
I think your radio's on the blink.
I listen to this every night to good entertainers. Don't tell me it's on the blink now.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
What was she all about then?
Pardon?
I said to Allison, what was she on about? Because you said goodbye, I thought
she?
you'd gone. You. Because you said goodbye, I thought you'd gone.
I am. I was just going to put the phone down, but I heard you say she.
Well, how can I refer to you as anything other than she?
That's up to you, how you talked about your
listeners. But what's your name then?
Joan.
Joan. Well, then I don't have to say she, do I?
No.
But on the other hand, you shot off.
Do you know, last week...
You shot off before we could have a conversation.
Well, I thought we were finished. But last week was such an interesting programme. I thought you'd changed, but this week we're back to normal.
You're a nasty piece of work, aren't you?
Pardon?
You're a nasty piece of work.
Am I?
You see, I don't believe you. Why don't I believe you when you say that you thought there was something wrong with the radio? That was just an excuse.
It was. I can't hear it now because when I pick up the phone, you can't hear the radio.
Well, you didn't hear anything. There wasn't anything going on. What on earth made you think there was something going on?
Interference. Like a lot of interference on the radio.
Yeah.
Don't know what it was.
Are you all right?
I am. Are you?
Well, I worry about you a little bit.
Oh, don't, because you don't even know me.
Well, it's
I don't want to get involved anyway. I don't want to get involved with
if you start hearing things coming out of the radio, that's my point.
Yes, but I'll try it again. I'll put the phone down and then I'll see what happens.
Well, can I just ask you a question?
You can if you like. Doesn't mean I'm going to answer it.
No. Do you realise that you're rude?
No.
You don't, do you?
No.
No.
I think I'm just outspoken.
No, you're rude.
Oh.
You're bloody rude.
You're not, are you?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I don't know.
I'll tell you what. I've never been as rude
as me.
as you were just now. And the thing is, I don't think you do know it. Why were you so rude?
What am I rude about? Oh, look, let's have a talk, because I want to do something.
No,
goodbye.
I was rude, but I don't,
Can I say goodbye now?
No, you can't. I'll tell you what.
I am saying it. Well, because you want to have an argument, and I don't feel like arguing.
Well, next time you phone...
I won't be phoning you again.
I bet you do.
I bet I don't.
Shall I phone you then?
No, thank you.
Well, I might. Why shouldn't I phone you?
No, I don't want you to, thank you.
Well, why shouldn't I phone you and be rude?
Well, you do like people to ring up on your programme, don't you? You always give your number out.
No, I don't like anything. I allow to happen whatever people want to do.
You allow it to happen.
But I don't...
give your number out.
What age are you? Are you another person who, it turns out, doesn't like what I do with Allison and is older?
No.
What age are you then?
I should say the same age as you.
Not a trick question, is it?
No. Okay, I've got to go now. Someone's at the door. Bye.
You liar. Terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beyond me. It is absolutely beyond me how rude some people can be, and they all seem to be drawn from a particularly small sector of society.
The scary thing is they don't even realise they're being rude.
Do you think they don't? Because you see, I think they do. They hope they are. They hope that they're hurting. They're not. They're not hurting me. I'm worried about you, though. You're still a bit used to this, aren't you? You're not quite used to this yet.
Do they know what
it's
they're
real
doing?
knockabout stuff, you know. It's prize-fighting stuff. It is.
No, I do think they want to hurt you and me. They do want to get to us.
They do.
They do. And they hide behind this veil of, I'm not rude, I'm just outspoken like that woman did. I just say it like it is.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
There's a real difference between being honest, as they say they're being, and being brutal.
Do you believe that she could hear some interference on the radio?
No.
No. Do you believe that there was somebody at the door?
No.
Do you believe that she didn't realise how dreadfully rude she was? Go on.
It's a difficult one.
08459 570057. And he's got a giggle on you. Hello, who's this?
Oh, hello, Tommy. I thought that was most amusing. Terribly funny. I was just wondering if you'd found out what the word fundament meant.
What? Fundament?
Eh?
What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, it means, you know, what you, fundamental thing. Well, a fundament.
But why have you suddenly started talking about fundaments?
Because I spoke about it about 5 weeks ago and nobody knew what it meant. And I thought that was terribly funny, that woman who was so rude.
Yes.
Frightfully funny.
Thank you for your call.
Hello, who's there?
Salut, c'est Tommy Boyds.
Bonsoir.
Non, c'est Camus, non pas Camus.
Camus.
Non, ça c'est pas juste.
Oui.
C'est Camus. Et il préférait de tout le monde et le mythe de Sisyphe.
Et le petit prince de Saint-Exupéry.
Ça n'a rien à voir avec ça. There's nothing to do with it. Look up the word fundament, for God's sake.
Don't you love that when people talk talk English with a French accent?
Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right. Sorry, mate. David has emailed, it's like the human zoo never went away. The idiots at the start of the show were classic callers, especially the guy who couldn't work out he was on air. Reminded me of a certain airline pilot many moons ago. You're right, David. Thank you for that. And somebody's ringing in saying that they are disgusted, hoping that you've been fired, and disgusted is contemplating burning his TV licence.
Go ahead.
That's not true. He fancies you. I always know this. When men try so many pathetic ways to get a woman's attention, including being sort of fake rude. Why are you two still on the radio? How can the BBC give a wage for this rubbish show? Tommy, you are just so insecure about yourself and your puppy Dieu. Shall I bring this person up?
Go on.
I think I should, don't you?
Am I the puppy?
Yeah. I mean, that's just basically...
Rude.
But I'll give this person a quick ring.
They'll be pleased to hear from us, I'm sure. Have they given themselves a name on the text?
No. I'm sorry that this takes a moment, and I'm afraid I'm not able to think of sequences of numbers and talk at the same time.
They probably won't answer like the other person, though.
No.
Because it's easier, isn't it, to be rude on a text message and actually have the balls to speak to us.
Balls, well said. You never know. It should ring in a minute.
You have reached the O2 voicemail messaging service for...
How handy.
You can give a message or shall I? Whoa, but don't give out a number.
No.
3.
Oh. Hello. This is Tommy.
And this is puppy, Allison Ferns. Many thanks for your earlier text message. We feel you contributed greatly towards the content of the show.
Yes. If, as Alison put it, you've got the balls, give us a ring on the switchboard and we'll have a chit-chat.
They so won't ring back.
They so won't ring back?
No.
You so watch Friends, don't you?
I do.
They so won't ring
They so won't ring
They
back.
so won't ring back.
I want them to.
Yeah, I know you do.
But they won't.
Got an email from somebody called Jake, who is in the USA or knows about Star Trek, and says, given a number out that we should call. I probably won't do that. Tuning into Southern Counties tonight, I was outraged to hear the word nipple mentioned again and again. This is not what I want to hear on our radio. Outraged of Tunbridge, Chichester and all corners of the counties. A discussion of brass rubbing would be more entertaining. Having the show turned out nice again. Any chance of some wisdom tonight? You know, the fish in the boat.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know too well.
Yes. So no, basically. No chance of any wisdom tonight. I'll play this.
Tommy Boyds and Allison Ferns on BBC Southern Counties Radio.
She sounds nice, doesn't she?
Daft Southerner has emailed smarmy-faced git. I presume that means me. But we know that his name's Steve Worthingham.
Thanks for that,
Steve. We know where he lives. We know which sites he's visited recently on the internet. Good for you, Steve. Really? Farm animals.
Right.
It's obviously got an agricultural bent. Now, Philip Turner has emailed, I'm fuming about tonight's show and the way the host has talked down to both the older callers. Is this the same each week? Who does this pillock answer to? Not you, Philip. Thank God. Excellent. Here's somebody who's emailed a really rude text message.
So you're going to call them?
Obviously.
Let's see if they've got the balls to answer. We've had one that's just rung and rung and rung and rung, and we've had one voicemail.
Yep.
Let's see if this one's braver.
Your call has been forwarded to the Virgin Mobile voicemail.
Somebody, Tim Aldover, who tries very hard to be rude and funny, but doesn't quite get away with it. But thanks for your interest, Tim. Keep up the good work. There was a very sexy advert.
Like a beer, please.
Yeah, there was some adverts are very sexy.
Yeah.
For some reason, there's a shaken back one, which always used to work for me. It was sexy.
Oh, that lady with the...
Do the shaken back
and put your freshness back.
It's sexy. I have no idea why, but it is sexy. There's something of the sort of domestic depravity about that situation. That woman wants sex. And that, of course, is the sexiest thing for a man about a woman. And she's pretty good looking and she can dance. But you know that what she's doing with that can of shaken back is what you want her to do to you. And shake you up. And it's very, very sexy.
Really?
That's why it's always number one in, you know, the top 100 adverts, the worst 100 adverts, the sexiest 100 adverts.
I've never seen it as a sexy advert.
Shaken back one?
Yeah, I'll never watch it again in the same night.
And there's another one where this, it's for oven chips. McCain's oven chips, or I don't know. And the mum keeps looking to the camera and she puts her hand behind her mouth and just goes, 40% less fat. And it's sexy because it's this sort of clandestine sex notion. You know, she's kind of sort of saying, shall we go upstairs? So that's sexy. And that works.
I've seen that one.
Yeah. Alan Davis has texted from Maidstone. Great to hear on the radio. Any chance off the top of your head you can explain the connection between Philip Morris, Lucille Ball and Star Trek again quickly? I did not hear it a few weeks ago. Alan, it would take too long. But the whole Star Trek thing might blow up again, depending on whether or not the Gene Roddenberry's family get back to this show.
Yeah.
They're interested in finding out what we've discovered about all of that. Go to line 6. Hello, line 6. You're on Southern Counties.
Allô?
Allô?
Je suis très fâchée contre vous. Vous m'avez accusé d'être anglaise. Et je ne suis pas. Je suis française et je parle très bien l'anglais.
I can only...
Alors, non.
All I can speak
je le refuse
Voulez-vous coucher avec
totalement.
moi?
Je suis totalement française.
Oui.
Et je n'aime pas ça. Je ne suis pas anglaise.
Québec. Vive Québec libre et vive la France. Allons enfants de la patrie. It's a great national anthem, the Marseille.
It is a good one.
C'est patrieux.
Can you sing it?
Non, vous êtes revoltant.
No, can you sing Le Marseille?
Non, vous êtes revoltant.
Can you sing it?
Fous le camp.
I don't know. I can't quite read that because it's got references to private parts. It's funny, you know, there's a lot of information that we all know, but none of us actually pay any attention to. Isn't that right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, otherwise we wouldn't drink, smoke, eat vegetables, eat anything actually, drink milk, wouldn't drink water, wouldn't do anything, wouldn't breathe the air. We all know these things. But in the end, just get on. Well, in the end, you just get on, don't you? You have to get on. Yeah. You know. Bring back the Milky Bar Kid texts Paul. And here's somebody else, another nasty text. Oh my God, is that all you can do? You two are pathetic, going on about nothing, and it's the true you are crap.
Get lost.
That's right. No, that's all right. It's great. It's great because on any other sort of show, I quite understand why. People get rude letters and emails, and they sort of, you know, ooh, just want to cover them up. Don't show them to anybody. You know, ooh. But the fact is, you can't be like everybody. I told you before, didn't I, that the most...
You did.
Who gets the most aggressive, complaining hate mail in British broadcasting?
Terry Wogan.
How can this be?
Very strange.
What does it tell you about Terry? Nothing. What does it tell you about some people? Loads. I'll tell you what I will do.
Tommy Boyds and Allison Ferns on BBC Southern Counties Radio.
Don't forget to subscribe and like. Comment too if you wish. Even slap your legs and make a purchase from Ann Summers. But don't do nothing.